And now, I'd like to play one of my very favorite songs for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song goes out from me to you. More classics coming right up for you, so stay tuned. You're gonna love this next song, I guarantee it. More tracks coming your way right now. Stick around, we've got some great songs coming up for you. This next song is just magical. I hope you enjoy it. This next song helped me through a very difficult time in my life, and I hope one day it can do the same for you. Got some songs coming up for you right now. At least one is probably about love. Coming up, I've got some tunes I think all of you are gonna like. More music just ahead. I'd like to play something really special for you right now because you deserve it. Gonna play a song for you right now, and it's about that special someone you find only once in a blue moon. Got some Dean Martin coming up, talking about the greatest feeling in the world, love. Ain't that a kick in the head? Sure is. Dino, it sure is. Here's Bing Crosby reminding us of those times when you absolutely have to kiss the person you love. Something's gotta give. Up next. Hey, New Vegas, have you ever said you love someone when it wasn't quite true? Sure you have, but you shouldn't, because it's a sin to tell a lie. And now, Nat King Cole reminding us what really matters with Love Me As Though There Were No Tomorrow. Because in New Vegas, hey, you never know. Got a song for you now. It's about a guy who's cold on the exterior, but deep down, he's a good man. And his name is Johnny Guitar. In New Vegas, we know the pain that numbers can bring us. Well, so does Guy Mitchell, who's got heartaches by the number. Have you ever been in love with a celebrity? Now, come on, you don't have to be shy. I feel it between us two. Sometimes you can't help being mad about the boy. Sometimes the journey beats the destination, and especially if your spurs go jingle, jangle, jingle, and you meet some nice gals along the way. Now that's a delivery service you can count on. When asked why, the source said someone alerted them to the fact that Caesar's Legion was comprised of, quote, a bunch of squares. Travelers are advised not to make friendly chit-chat with them. Freesiders are hoping they'll drop food. But I wouldn't get your hopes up, Freesiders. In possibly related news, local chem dealers report an overall decrease in their standard of living. The leader of the Kings, who would only identify himself as the King, voiced his displeasure, calling NCR citizens, quote, the devil in disguise. The attacks are all the more troubling since there has not been a zoo in the area in quite some time. The chief scientist at the plant vowed to fix the problem, blaming it on an atmosphere of, quote, severe underappreciation. Those who can afford passports are saying the added security is well worth the price of admission. One anonymous official told us a serious mechanical failure would have been a disaster because of the age of the train and the scarcity of the replacement parts. NCR sources say that holding the dam against Caesar's Legion has become their main strategic priority, and this move would not be unexpected. One refugee told us the Legate took over an underperforming squad of troops by beating its commander to death in full view of everyone. Once again, Caesar dead. A shocking turn of events whose impact is anyone's guess at this point. Caesar said he expected to resume his campaign of terror and mayhem as soon as he receives medical clearance. Dang it, I could have used one of those. Caesar's Legion is believed to have been behind the attack. No suspects have been identified, but seniors are advised to be on the lookout for this so-called denture killer. Asked the comment, Big Saul said, quote, the fuck you looking at? You wearing a wire, are you? I'll break your fucking kneecaps. Hey, get back here. One witness said, quote, God sent us 2 angels, and at least one had him a .308 caliber flaming sword of justice with a telescopic sight. Possible causes suggested were engineering mistakes, century-old equipment, and the fact that the rockets were piloted by a cult of crazy ghouls. Witness descriptions are remarkably similar to accounts of the Good Springs courier, who, as we reported, recently survived a gunshot to the head. If you should find it, do not, repeat, do not belittle a super mutant for taking the bunny slope. Those who claim to have dined at the restaurant find the food appealing, but say many tables remain empty. The secret ingredient? Tender loving care, according to the chef. An NCR private scheduled to receive an award exploded as he reached the stage, killing the president in the blast. The president's vertibird exploded in midair as he departed following the address. Investigators say the explosion was not an accident. The president's vertibird crashed into the side of the dam as he departed following the address. Authorities suspect sabotage. The president's vertibird was destroyed by one of the dam's howitzer cannons. Investigators say that the gun had been tampered with. An assassin attacked the president in full view of the crowd, but was not apprehended. Witness descriptions of the killer differ wildly. He added he didn't want to see the NCR in the ghetto, and called for a mass, quote, return to sender. Listeners are not advised to follow that path in hopes of similar results. The legate then ordered a tenth of his own force be killed by the other 9/10. And you thought your boss was a pain. Once again, NCR President Aaron Kimball, dead at 48. In other news, also in the headlines, moving on. Also, in addition, one more story for you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program. This is Mr. New Vegas, and each and every one of you is wonderful in your own special way. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. New Vegas. Thank you very, very much for listening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. New Vegas here. You're all so great, and we're going to keep you listening all day. Howdy, folks. It's Mr. New Vegas, and I have a good feeling about all of you listening. Welcome back to the Mr. New Vegas show, the show with, in my opinion, which I respect, the best-looking audience around. Somebody prove me wrong? It's me again, Mr. New Vegas, reminding you that you're nobody till somebody loves you, and that somebody is me. I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to me, Mr. New Vegas, and you look extraordinarily beautiful right now. This is Radio New Vegas, and I'm your host, Mr. New Vegas. And in case you're wondering if you've come to the right place, you have. The women of New Vegas ask me a lot if there's a Mrs. New Vegas. Well, of course there is. You're her. And you're still as perfect as the day we met. You know, I tried to measure my charisma on a Vitomatic vigor tester once. The machine burst into flames. This is Mr. New Vegas fanning the flames of your passion. And we're back. This is Mr. New Vegas, and I feel something magic in the air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the gamma radiation. Welcome back to the program. This is Mr. New Vegas, and I hope I'm not coming on too strong. You're listening to Radio New Vegas, your little jukebox in the Mojave wasteland. I am Mr. New Vegas, and I'm here for you. Hey, it's Mr. New Vegas letting you know I've got a new Christmas compilation coming out soon. Nuclear Winter Wonderland. Look for it on holotape. Now, sources at the dam are telling us that the involvement of one key person appears to have heavily influenced the outcome. Reports indicate that NCR forces emerged victorious and the Legion scattered amidst the defeat of its most feared military leader. Preliminary word is that Caesar's Legion has taken control of the dam and that the NCR presence in Nevada is severely crippled. While it initially appeared to be an NCR victory, we're receiving word that our own Mr. House may have been the one to secure the dam for himself. But in a shocking turn of events, the dam has been rendered useless, and both sides have taken heavy casualties. Neither faction appears to have won. But in a shocking turn of events, an army of Securitrons has seized control of the dam, preventing both sides from claiming it. We've got some news for you coming right up. All the latest news coming your way right now. This just in. If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment. Well, you know what that means, folks. Time for some news. More news for you. And now the news. It's just about time to get you some news. Here are our top stories. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. I've got news for you. That's all for now. This is Mr. New Vegas saying, I'm just no good without you. You know, I think all news, whether it's good or bad, brings us closer together. Don't you? Well, that's all I have for you. This is Mr. New Vegas wishing you ladylike luck tonight. This program was brought to you by Gomorrah. Gomorrah. It'll be our secret. Promotional consideration for this news program has been paid for by the Ultralux. The Ultralux. Live life in the lap of luxury. The news has been brought to you by the Vicky and Vance Casino. Vicky and Vance, be our partners in crime. These headlines were brought to you by Vault 21. Vault 21. Everything's better when you experience it in a vault. We'll have more news for you at the top of the hour. You know they say that no news is good news, but I think my program would be awfully dull if that were the case. Those were our top stories, and that's the news. Stay classy, New Vegas. That's the news. This is Mr. New Vegas filling in for Mr. New Vegas. Those are our stories for this hour. This is Mr. New Vegas signing off. Just kidding. I'm not going anywhere. My love for you is too strong. That news was brought to you by the Tops Casino. You'll dig us, baby. We're the Tops. The preceding segment was sponsored by the Silver Rush. Silver Rush. Feel the rush of a warm laser in your hand. Today's headlines were brought to you by Prem. Prem, the other New Vegas. Boy, the Mojave wasteland is just a fascinating place, isn't it? You never know what's going to happen next. Mojave? Mo problems. Am I right? A package courier found shot in the head near Good Springs has reportedly regained consciousness and made a full recovery. Good Springs has fended off a mob of escaped convicts after organizing an impromptu militia. This according to an old man armed to the teeth with dynamite. Sad news from Good Springs. The town was wiped out after heavy fighting with a gang of escaped convicts. Travelers are advised to keep their distance. Prem formally sworn a new sheriff today. RNV reporters were on hand to hear the new sheriff address the crowd. Sources report the NCR's top ranger, Chief Hanlon, has died in a tragic revolver cleaning accident inside his locked office at Camp Golf. Sources report the NCR's top ranger, Chief Hanlon, has unexpectedly passed away. NCR soldiers rallied to show their support for the officer. Word out of Camp Golf is that many NCR rangers can expect redeployment in the near future. One anonymous soldier said it was part of a new strategy. NCR rangers are being pulled off the front line as part of a campaign to secure existing NCR territory, according to anonymous sources. According to a new report, violent crime is on a sharp decline in New Vegas. The report credits the decline of the population of fiends in the area. A big congratulations to a young band of soldiers who shattered NCR records on a combat readiness evaluation at Camp Golf. Go get 'em, guys. Tensions are brewing in Freeside between the ruling gang known as the Kings and the large number of NCR squatters seeking refuge there. The Kings have been killed in a fight with NCR forces after weeks of mounting hostility. Witnesses report the Kings' last word was simply, don't. The Kings gang in Freeside has put an official end to the hostilities with the NCR. An RNV reporter was on hand to speak with the King. Several witnesses report a vertibird flying in from the northeast. One of them, using binoculars, claimed it was being flown by a group of old men. The mysterious deaths of several old men around New Vegas, including a doctor, have led some to suspect a serial killer may be responsible. Gomorrah is under new management after the sudden departure of Omerta bosses Nero and Big Sol. The casino's new manager spoke to reporters. Sources close to the Emeritus tell us a newcomer has been meeting privately with bosses Nero and Big Sol, unusual for a family outsider. Rumors continue to swell that Mr. House, the father of New Vegas, has passed away. Who will fill the power vacuum on the Strip remains uncertain. Insiders are saying a key Legion prisoner has escaped Camp McCarran. The prisoner is armed and dangerous, and may be dressed as an NCR trooper. A Legion slaver party was wiped out in a failed raid of the Bitter Springs refugee camp, with 2 armed civilians inflicting heavy Legion casualties. The Bitter Springs refugee camp has been overrun by Legion slavers. Refugees should stay away and avoid talking to strangers in football pads. A hostage crisis between the NCR and the Great Khans was resolved peacefully when a third-party negotiator successfully secured the hostages' release. A group of Great Khans were killed in a bloody end to a hostage crisis in Boulder City. It's not currently known why the Khans were in the area. A few Great Khans are on the loose after an aborted standoff left at least 2 NCR hostages dead. The NCR is offering a reward for their capture. Several unidentified aircraft were spotted flying over the RepCon test site by a local crackpot. He spoke to a toy bear near one of our microphones. Eyewitnesses outside Camp McCarran are reporting a large explosion near its monorail station. The NCR is denying the incident. There's word in from Camp McCarran that an attempt to bomb its monorail system was foiled by an alert civilian contractor. Security is being tightened. Top's hotel owner Benny has been killed by an unidentified assailant. His former right-hand man, Swank, consoled mourners. Rumors have surfaced that Top's hotel owner Benny has taken yet another unexpected leave of absence. We spoke to his right-hand man, Swank. We have unconfirmed reports that Caesar has died in his base camp after a failed surgery, performed by an unknown and possibly unqualified surgeon. We're hearing rumors that Caesar may have been assassinated by an unknown party. It is currently not known how the assassin was able to evade security. Reports out of Arizona quote Caesar as saying he's never felt better after undergoing emergency brain surgery. Strange rumors from across the river indicate a secret underground robot army has been destroyed before anyone was able to use it. The NCR flag has been hoisted over former Legion outpost Nelson after heavy fighting. NCR officials are calling this a big win for troop morale. Legion raiders have sacked Camp Forlorn Hope, eliminating all remaining NCR forces there and giving the Legion a strong foothold along the river. The president of the NCR has been killed at Hoover Dam. President Kimball was slated to give a rallying speech to troops stationed there. During his visit to Hoover Dam, an attempt on the life of NCR President Aaron Kimball was stopped by a quick-thinking civilian. Residents of Novak were treated to a surprise light show when Helios 1 unexpectedly began firing lasers. No word yet on the damage. Residents and squatters in Freeside are overjoyed after waking to discover that the area is being supplied with electricity from an unknown source. A source within the Great Khans is saying the gang has reached an accord with the NCR and will support them in any conflict with Caesar's Legion. Eyewitnesses report seeing roving bands of troops wearing power armor and carrying advanced weapons along Route 95. Witnesses report a huge object or creature surfacing in Lake Mead. So far, photos of the so-called Lake Mead monster are grainy and underexposed. A large unidentified aircraft has been seen circling the skies above the New Vegas Strip. Residents of Novak were running for cover following the failed launch of 3 rockets from the RepCon test site. NCR Correctional Facility is now under prisoner control following a successful riot. Locals should avoid anyone who looks like they've done time. NCR has failed to retake the prison it recently lost in a deadly riot. Powder gang operations against the NCR are expected to continue. Intense fighting erupted on Hoover Dam as tensions between NCR and Caesar's Legion boiled over. A grateful widow told Radio New Vegas today of one person's heroic efforts to recover her husband's body from a war zone. Food shortages and mass starvation are plaguing Freeside and the Strip in the wake of a sharp reduction in the area's beef supply. Beef prices around the New Vegas Strip have dropped significantly following an agreement between the Ultralux and Brahman Baron Heck Gunderson. Wealthy Brahman Baron Heck Gunderson was arrested in the Ultralux Hotel as a suspect in his son's murder. A hotel spokeswoman had this to say: "Citizens of Outer Vegas are flocking to the Strip in droves amid a wave of terror caused by a band of raiders known as the Fiends. The death toll continues to climb around Camp Forlorn Hope, where Legion raiding parties are still chipping away at the NCR's hold south of the dam." NCR officials at Camp McCarran were relieved when technical difficulties with its monorail line to the New Vegas Strip proved easy to fix. Unconfirmed reports say NCR's General Lee Oliver may have uprooted from his post at Camp McCarran in order to be present at Hoover Dam. Merchants are saying that there's been little contact between traders from Nipton in recent days, causing concerns that the isolated town may be in trouble. Refugees at Bitter Springs are giving startling accounts of the legate known as Lanius, who is said to be Caesar's top field commander. A mob of dangerous creatures of all different species have been terrorizing locals in Westside. The cause of the attacks is thus far unknown. Residents report briefly seeing a column of heavenly light coming out of the sky. Apocalypse predictors haven't been this excited since the war. Listeners have been unable to pick up radio broadcasts from Black Mountain recently. Most are calling the static, quote, a welcome improvement. Troubling news from Prem as merchants report a large presence of armed, unsavory figures patrolling the town. Residents are nowhere to be found. The Black Mountain radio signal is back after a long absence. Listeners say the new programming is, quote, less for outcasts, more for weirdos. The Helios 1 solar power plant remains dormant despite NCR's effort to reactivate the facility. Caesar's Legion continues to fortify its position in Nelson, where it remains a constant concern for Camp Forlorn Hope and the nearby town of Novak. Scavengers report hulking individuals moving around Hidden Valley after dusk, but have been unable to identify them due to low visibility. The influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. Traders from California are being turned away from Mojave Outpost, where the NCR is concerned about dangers along Nipton Highway and I-15. Rumors persist about a super mutant refuge nestled high in a ski lodge to the northwest. Patrons of the Ultralux are questioning whether its pricey restaurant, the Gourmand, is overstating the fullness of its wait list. Diners at the Gourmand are giving the restaurant rave reviews for executive chef Philippe's brand new menu offerings.